Hello YouTube and welcome to a brand new Call of Duty World at War zombie storyline. Today we are going to be covering part 2, Verrückt, which in German translates to crazy or insane. Now, as we can see here, we have a very different poster than the one that we had last time. This one is more of a map of the actual map. So you can see these little areas around the map, their drawings. You have Speed Cola, Revive Soda, Juggernog Drink, and Double Tap. These are the 4 brand new chemically engineered perks in the game, and there was actually something that I wanted to talk about last map that I forgot to, and I might get into it into this map, but I might also wait until later to bring it up because the zombie storyline here really does start to build, and this is where a lot of our information comes into play. So, moving on with the pictures, you can see 4 pictures of the different sodas. Double Tap is yellow up there in the upper left-hand corner, right next to Juggernog, which is right above the blue one, which is Revive Soda, aka Quick Revive, and the Speed Cola is all the way on the right side of the picture. Now, right above that Speed Cola, you will see 2 very interesting things which we did not have in the last map. That is the power switch, which will be very important into turning on these perk machines. And right above that, you will see there is some kind of lightning electric trap, which we will be getting into later on in the video. Moving on, if you look at the bottom of this poster, you will see some photos of zombies showing that this place is kind of being taken over, which again we will talk about as we move on throughout the video. Anyway, I hope that you do enjoy this lesson on Verrückt, and please smash the like button if you do enjoy the video, and without further ado, let us continue. So right off the bat, the first thing that we're going to have to worry about is the power. Now Treyarch, I believe, realized that without an objective in the game, you are going to not have that fun of a time. Nocturne Totem was pretty good, but it also was the first zombie map, no real objective. So the objective in this map was to turn on power, which we will get to later. Anyway, walking up to this chair right here, we see this wheel. If you hold X on it, you will hear this sound. So what does this sound mean? We hear a drill and then we hear a guy screaming. Well, let's look at the general basis of the map. Where are we, and what does Verrückt mean? Well, as I said earlier in the video, Verrückt can be translated from German to English as crazy or insane, depending on which dialect you're using. Now, if you look at where this place is in the real world, this actually is a real-life place. It is in Germany. It was the first mental facility, I believe. Moving right along, we need to figure out who we are in this map. Now, you could say that we are the new 4 original players, but we're not. And just like how I said in Verrückt, how I said that I like to be Peter, and I like to think that I'm Peter, but technically we're actually Marines, well, in Nocturne Totem, you are Marines, and in this map, you are Marines as well. And let me tell you why. Basically, in Nocturne Totem, you've been plane crashed, you were on a mission, and you were stuck there. In this map, your objective for these Marines is to capture and secure the test subject, which was one of their own party members named Tank Dempsey, but we won't learn about him until the next map. So moving on into this next area, you will see that I'm just walking around, just kind of looking at some stuff, trying to show it off. Now, this I like to see because it's very interesting. It says lightning banishes darkness. And while this is true, because lightning is very bright, it's very hot, it's actually referring to the brand new trap that is right next to it. We have not only brand new perks, brand new weapons, and we have brand new box locations, but we also have brand new traps. And look at this. This is a perfect example of how creepy that this map is. There's just a mannequin with a bunch of knives and stuff, like, just stuck everywhere. It's a very, very creepy place. So that's what Treyarch is really trying to get across in this map, is how dark and gruesome this place was. And in the chair, I believe what was going on was actually a lobotomy, but this right here that you're seeing is the I guess like washroom. See, they didn't have very any privacy because they were all insane people. They wanted to make sure that they had a good eye on them. So this is like the washroom. You can see all the bloody handprints and stuff. This was a very gruesome place. This would not have been a good place to be. But one of the main important things in this map is the power. And I want you to take note on how that hand was on the power. That hand is extremely important to later events that happen. And I was going to talk about it in this video, but I don't think that it's quite time to talk about it because there is a theory that goes around in the zombie storyline that is quite important, but I don't believe that it should be brought up this early because it was not being thought about this early by the zombie community when the map had first come out, so I will save that for a later DLC date. Anyway, moving on with the storyline, you will see that I'm just kind of chilling here right now, and I'm just kind of like holding off. Now, this will always be in the zombie storyline, is trying to survive. And as Jason Blundell has said, you have no objective, you will never win, your ultimate goal in this game is to die. Now, this is true because in every single zombies game that you will ever play, there's only two ways to end the game. That is to leave the game, to exit, and that is basically just, choosing not to play anymore, which technically you lose at because you didn't beat it, or to die, which means that you also didn't beat it. And those will always be the two things in this map. Now, as I show you right here, you will see there's a bunch of numbers and a bunch of creepy writings all over the wall. You can only imagine what was going through these people's minds when they were writing this with their own blood. Like, can you imagine just cutting open like your hand or something and just writing that on the wall? Like, you have to literally be insane. But let's talk about what it means. We have a bunch of satanic symbols, a bunch of blood splatters, a bunch of everything there. However, there is one main thing that we are going to be focusing on here, and that is the 193824069 semicolon 21 numbers. So, what do these numbers mean? Well, if these are plugged into Google, these are real-life coordinates of a meteor that struck in Tunguska, and this is known as the Tunguska event, way back when, and were believed to have a special element in it that could resurrect the dead. This is where the zombie storyline really comes into play. In our zombie storyline, we are going to be calling this special element Element 115. Now, we will get more into this as the zombie storyline progresses, as 115 is extremely imperative to the entirety of the zombie storyline as it is used in every single map ever and will always be a part of the zombie storyline, a very big part and a very classic part. Anyway, moving on. So as we move into the next room, I would like to point out that there is actually another mannequin here that is hanging, and if you notice there is a chair tipped over underneath it indicating that it hung itself. Now this could very well mean that the people who were in this facility had psychiatric problems, they were probably psychotic, or they had like a different personality that they could use outside of themselves and they believed it to be real. This is very creepy, and this room right here has way more like drawings and everything all over the walls. These people were absolutely nuts. They like, this is like, when people say that there is like, your grandma's going to the loony house or something. Yeah, well, this is that loony house. This is that place. Nobody wants to be here. It's a horrible place to be in. Now, as we make our way back to the wall, I would like to point out one key thing on the wall, and that is that there is this thing called, or not this thing, but this writing that says, Teddy is the biggest liar. Now, why is this interesting to me? Well, if you move the box, like if you use the box too much, then the box will actually physically move. And what happens when it moves is there's a teddy that comes up. Now, I don't know if you saw it, but it was kind of up there in the corner. It's right there. You should be able to see it now. It's right in the middle of the screen. Teddy is a big liar. But if you move the box too much, a teddy bear will pop up in the box and you will hear a little girl laugh. Now, who is this little girl? Now, if you listen very closely to the zombies in this game, they say Sam. Now, I don't know if this was intended by Treyarch or not. I don't think it was, but the community made a huge deal about it, about how the zombies were saying Sam. So they said, okay, well, let's give this a story. And this is where the real zombie storyline starts. Although you could say that Nocturne Toten was the start because it was the first map, I believe this is where everything started coming together. So basically, you have a character named Sam who is controlling the zombies, and there's that power will reunite you again, and the zombies are under her control. Now, this is very interesting. She will come into play in a lot of our videos later down the line, but the last thing I want to point out is that if you've been paying attention, all of the posters for the brand new perks are all mixed up. They tell you what the perk does, but they are not next to the right perk location. And there's also these little holding cells that they were keeping their test subjects in that were probably not very fun to be in. I mean, I know I wouldn't want to be locked in a metal box. That'd be really horrible. So I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, and one more thing. There's this pointless room that Treyarch made for absolutely no fucking reason. Now watch me die. Up until I die.